Dear students, good morning to all of you. The 12th books are available on website of board and also available in form of PDF. Now, as far as our subject chemistry is concerned, we have to study in all 16 topics in 12th standard. So we will narrate the list of the topics first of all. The first topic that is to be studied, it is solid state. Topic number 2, it is solutions. Last year we have studied the concentration terms that are used while studying solutions. The topic number 3 is ionic equilibrium. So for this topic also, last year we have studied chemical equilibrium. Now, it is the extended part of the topic, so it is called ionic equilibrium. Topic number 4, it is chemical thermodynamics. Topic number 5, electrochemistry. Elements of group 16, 17 and 18. And chemical kinetics. Topic number 8, transition and inner transition elements. Normally we are calling them as D and F block elements. Transition elements are called D block elements and inner transition elements, they are F block elements. Topic number 9, coordination compounds. Coordination compounds. Topic number 10, halogen derivatives. Topic number 11, alcohol, phenol and ether. 12, aldehyde, ketone, carboxylic acid. 13th, amines. 14th, biomolecules. 15th, introduction to polymer chemistry. Introduction to polymer chemistry. And the last topic is green chemistry and nanochemistry. Okay, so this is the scenario of the topics, 16 topics in all, they are to be studied this year. So first 7 topics and then remaining 9 topics, they are like this. Now today we'll start with topic number 3, that is called ionic equilibrium. Now, word is there that is called equilibrium. What is the meaning of that? What is called an equilibrium? Whenever there is a balance between two things. In chemistry, some balance between reactant and the product. That is called equilibrium. Last year we have studied the introductory part of this, that is called chemical. We studied in 11th. Previous introductory part of the topic, that is chemical equilibrium. So basically we have studied their types of reactions, reversible reactions क्या होते हैं, irreversible reactions क्या होते हैं. It's easy to study the irreversible reactions, but the reversible reactions being proceeding in both the directions, it is difficult to study the reversible reactions. So from that point of view, we have studied how to study this type of reaction with the help of equilibrium stage, how to apply law of mass action to these reactions, and so on. How the reaction try to maintain its equilibrium when we try to disturb its concentration, pressure or temperature like this. So now, in that chemical equilibrium we have studied the species involved are the species were chemical species. अभी recall करो example of reaction that we have studied in last year. The reaction was like this: H2 gas plus I2 gas reversibly used 2 times HI gas. या फिर मान लो second reaction PCl5 gives PCl3 plus Cl2. N2 gas plus thrice H2 gas gives twice H2 gas. All the examples written on the board. What is present on reactant side and product side? Here there is a chemical species H2I2. Hydrogen iodide is also chemical species. So here also the same case, here also the same case, here also the same case. N2 is a chemical entity, H2 is a chemical entity, NH3 is a chemical species. So all the reactants and products involved in chemical equilibrium, they are chemical species like N2, like H2, like Cl2, I2, PCl5 like this. So whenever there is a equilibrium between chemical species on the reactant side and chemical species on the product side, that equilibrium is called by the name as chemical equilibrium. अभी इस हम लोगों को आयोनिक इक्विलिब्रियम स्टडी करना है. So that is a little bit different from chemical equilibrium. So let us try to study what is mean by chemical ionic equilibrium. What is mean by ionic equilibrium? तो अब एक टर्म आप लोगों को मालूम है, that is called electrolyte. So we all are familiar with this term, that is called electrolyte. What is the electrolyte? A substance like NaCl, when dissolved in water or by passage of electricity, it gets converted into its ions like Na plus and Cl minus. So any substance when dissolved in water or electricity is passed through its molten state, it gets converted into its ions. That is called by the name as electrolyte. So अब मान लो what are the examples of electrolyte? Acetic acid is an electrolyte because it gives acetate ions and H plus ions. NH4Cl is an electrolyte. Why? Because NH4Cl will give you NH4 plus and Cl minus ions. So a list of electrolytes can be prepared like this. The basic thing is, what is electrolyte, which should be understood by all of us. On the other hand, there are many substances like benzene is there, all organic compounds in short we can say. Alcohol is there, aldehyde is there, benzene is there. So all such compounds, they cannot produce ions, and therefore those substances which cannot be split into ions, they all are called by the name as non-electrolytes. Our focus in this ionic equilibrium is basically on the concept of electrolyte, and therefore whenever you take electrolyte, the same example, I can take another example, NaOH, sodium hydroxide. अगर मान लो इसे पानी में डिसॉल्व कर दिए तो क्या होगा इसका, तो विल गेट आयंस ऑफ दिस. कौन से आयंस मिलते हैं, Na प्लस वी आर गेटिंग एंड वी आर गेटिंग OH माइनस. तो ये बन गया इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. HCl इज देयर, इसको पानी में डिसॉल्व कर दिए तो आयंस मिलेंगे H प्लस एंड Cl माइनस. तो ये बन गया इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. So the concept of ionic equilibrium is applicable to such type of electrolytes which splits into ions when dissolved in water or when electricity is passed through them. So this is the main theme of the topic. We have to relate ourselves with this concept of electrolyte. So what are the points that are to be seen under this topic? तो आज हम लोग कुछ 2-3 कंसेप्ट्स इसके कंप्लीट करेंगे. फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज इंट्रोडक्शन. सेकंड पॉइंट इज टाइप्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स. थर्ड पॉइंट इज डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन. Dissociation and acid and base. So this topic ionic equilibrium, there is an equilibrium between ions and undissociated molecules on the reactant side. Just मान लो एग्जाम्पल के तौर पर we'll take one example. That example is NaOH. When dissolved in water, we'll write Aq. It will give you Na plus and OH minus ions. If I take NH4OH ammonium hydroxide, dissolve in water, we'll write Aq. It will give you ammonium ions and hydroxide ion, OH minus. So what is there in ionic equilibrium? There is a equilibrium between, so see this reaction number 2. Later on I will explain why single arrow is written here and why double arrow is written here. So let us try to take the example second, NH4OH. अभी मान लो NH4OH को पानी में डिसॉल्व कर दिए तो आप लोगों को प्रोडक्ट जो मिलता है तो NH4 प्लस एंड OH माइनस आयंस. तो क्या है इस रिएक्शन में, ऑन रिएक्टेंट साइड वी आर हैविंग अनडिसोसिएटेड मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ अमोनियम हाइड्रोक्साइड and on product side we are having the ions produced from that molecule. तो अलग हुआ ना केमिकल इक्विलिब्रियम से. केमिकल इक्विलिब्रियम में रिएक्टेंट साइड पर भी केमिकल स्पेसिस थे और प्रोडक्ट साइड पर भी केमिकल स्पेसिस थे, यानी कि दैट वाज इक्विलिब्रियम बिटवीन केमिकल स्पेसिस ऑन रिएक्टेंट साइड एंड ऑन द प्रोडक्ट साइड. Here we are having undissociated molecules on reactant side and the ions produced from it on the product side. So ये ध्यान में रख के चलना है कि ionic equilibrium is an equilibrium between, ये important sentence है, ionic equilibrium is an equilibrium between undissociated molecules and the ions produced from the molecule. तो ये दोनों के बीच में इक्विलिब्रियम होगा. That equilibrium will be called by the name as ionic equilibrium. Now, what are the types of electrolytes? मान लो electrolytes क्या हैं? अभी आप लोगों को समझ में है. We will keep in mind. All salts are electrolytes. Copper sulfate, ammonium chloride, sodium chloride, potassium chloride. There are numerous examples of salts. All they are electrolytes. Some acids, I am telling some, not all. Some acids are examples of electrolytes, and some bases are also examples of electrolytes. So we are having electrolytes and non-electrolytes. As far as the electrolytes are considered, there are two types of electrolytes. One is called as a strong electrolyte and another one is called as weak electrolyte. तो आसान है, the words we come to know. किसे आप strong electrolyte बोलोगे? तो जो electrolyte it is completely dissociated into ions, that electrolyte will be called strong electrolyte. आप यहाँ पर मैं पॉइंट क्लियर करता हूँ. NaOH जो पीछे लिखा था, तो उसको हमने सिंगल एटम दिया था like this, and the products were Na+ and OH-. तो a strong electrolyte is almost completely dissociated. There is hardly any reactant present in the reaction. All the molecules are present in form of ions. So such type of electrolyte is called as a strong electrolyte. So NaOH, KOH, HCl, H2SO4, nitric acid, HNO3, all are examples of strong electrolytes. So एक बात ध्यान में रखना है कि जब जब इन लोगों का डिसोसिएशन आप लिखते हो तो it should be shown by single arrow like this. Getting the point? Whenever we write the dissociation of all these electrolytes, we have to show single arrow pointing towards the product side. Because all these are the examples of strong electrolytes and almost they are completely dissociated, we are having ions of these electrolytes in solution and therefore they are examples of strong electrolytes. अभी weak electrolytes माने क्या होता है? तो weak का मतलब है which is not completely dissociated. There is a partial dissociation. Partial मतलब आधा अधूरा dissociation, पूरा तो नहीं है. NH4OH is an example of weak electrolyte. Now, why it is called weak electrolyte? Why the electrolytes are weak? If we take some molecules, some moles like this, so some moles of electrolytes or NH4OH are taken, and these are the molecules of the mole, like this. अगर ये strong electrolyte है तो पूरा इसका dissociation होगा और इसके आपको ions मिलेंगे like this. Everywhere we will get ions. But if it is a weak electrolyte, like ammonium hydroxide, तो 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like these molecules of NH4OH are represented by this manner. Now, whenever this is dissolved in water, तो इसका डिसोसिएशन कंप्लीट नहीं होता है। मतलब हुआ कि पूरे के पूरे मॉलिक्यूल्स आयन में नहीं तब्दील होते, नहीं चले जाते। सम ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल्स विल स्प्लिट टू प्रोड्यूस आयंस एंड सम ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल्स विल रिमेन अनडिसोसिएटेड। तो मान लो अगर 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 यहाँ पर 8 मॉलिक्यूल्स है NH4OH के। तो फॉर आवर अंडरस्टैंडिंग we'll say when NH4OH is dissolved in water, the process will start. One NH4OH will split to give NH4 plus and OH minus. The reaction is going in forward direction. और दूसरा मॉलिक्यूल भी ब्रेकअप हुआ, डिसोसिएट हुआ, तो we are getting one more NH4 plus from it and one OH minus from it like this. The reaction is still going in forward direction. तीसरा मॉलिक्यूल डिसोसिएट हुआ, we get third NH4 plus and third OH minus like this. ये weak electrolyte है। जब some typical amount of molecules are dissociated, appreciable concentration of product is formed there, the reaction starts in the reverse direction. तो अभी ये fourth molecule when it splits to give one NH4 plus and OH minus, immediately one NH4 plus and OH minus unite to give NH4OH like this. तो अभी क्या हुआ, 8 मॉलिक्यूल्स कंसीडर किए, 3 मॉलिक्यूल्स का डिसोसिएशन हुआ। जब when fourth molecule start dissociating, so now 1 2 3 molecules of NH4OH are dissociated into NH4 plus and OH minus. Now when the fourth NH4OH molecule start dissociating like this, NH4 plus and OH minus, at the same time one molecule of NH4OH is formed by combination of NH4 plus and OH minus. So in this example, when 8 molecules of NH4OH are taken, 3 are present in dissociated form, and therefore what is degree of dissociation alpha? It is number of moles dissociated divided by total number of moles divided by total number of moles. So this formula will give you the value of alpha for any weak electrolyte. Now in this example, at equilibrium stage, 1, 2 and 3 molecules of NH4OH are present in dissociated form. Divided by total number of moles of NH4OH, considered there 8. So 3 by 8, that is equal to 0. Something. So alpha is 0. For example. So some conclusions can be drawn from this. अभी NaOH का एग्जाम्पल अगर आप कंसिडर किए तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल 10 moles of NH4OH are taken. All 10 moles of NH4OH will be dissociated, giving 10 mole of Na plus and 10 mole of COH minus. तो strong electrolytes के बारे में always and always this condition will be present. If 10 mole of NaOH are taken, all the 10 moles of NaOH are dissociated to give ions, and therefore alpha is equal to number of moles dissociated, they are 10, divided by total number of moles initially taken, they are 10. So 10 divided by 10 is equal to 1. Very important generalization we should remember from this. And the first generalization is, if the electrolyte is strong, the value of alpha is always 1. And if the electrolyte is weak electrolyte, alpha is always less than 1. It is in fraction. It is in fraction. So today we have covered 3 points from the topic. The first point is introduction, what we are going to study here. The types of electrolytes, they are strong and weak, how to classify them. And the third point is degree of dissociation, that is denoted by the symbol alpha. How to find out the value of alpha. If we know the number of moles dissociated and if we know the total number of moles, the ratio of that number of moles dissociated divided by total number of moles, that will give you the value of alpha. If the electrolyte is strong, like NaOH, like HCl, like H2SO4, the value of alpha will always be 1 because this ratio will be same. 10 moles are taken, divided by 10 moles dissociated, divided by 10 moles taken. If X moles of strong electrolyte are taken, all the X moles will be dissociated. So X by X will always be 1, and therefore for strong electrolytes the value of alpha will always be equal to 1, and for all weak electrolytes like NH4OH, like acetic acid, the value of alpha will always be less than 1 because the numerator is smaller and the denominator is always greater in weak electrolytes. 8 moles are considered, they come in denominator. 3 moles are dissociated, they come in numerator, and therefore 3 by 8 comes to be fraction 0.3. So today we will stop here.